But, as I say, we've had a massive upset in our last race. Turf is usually more predictable, usually a bit fairer than the dirt can be, that's for sure. But who knows, this is a fun race, and it gives the crowd a good chance to see these horses, of course, as well.
No, it's a proper 3-minute race, and it gives you a chance to really kind of take everything in. And this is really a stayer's race, and it becomes a jockey's race because strategy is involved as to when you set your horse down and when you ask him for more.
So not too many more to go forward. Will it be Godolphin on the score sheet in our Group 2 Dubai Gold Cup?
Tyre motors, 3,200 metres to race, and away they go. East Asia a little bit slow. Rodrigo Diaz from the worst of the draws, a bit slow, but probably by design. Now it sits, wait and watch. Volcanic Sky, first one to break. Stay Foolish, got a good position in the early stages. Manobo's a bit headstrong in the early stages, the all blue colours. He's fighting with William Buick at the moment. Miranak also goes handy as well. Elmadar's a little bit closer than usual. Veloce Oro is at the outside. Now that Manobo's latched onto somebody, he's settled well. Castle Bar's at the outside. Then comes Baron Samedi. The cheap piece is one off the rail. Elmadar next. A length away to Aliniak the Grey. Also a lot closer. They're walking in the early stages. East Asia next best, joined by Passion and Glory. Couple of lengths away to Emperor of the Sun, who races towards the end of the field with Rodrigo Diaz. And there's one lap left in the Dubai Gold Cup. And the leader is Volcanic Sky. Got it by about half a length. Veloce Oro wants to try and get up, but races now 3 parts of a length away in second. Castle Bar exposed, had to make a move. Races out deep, but now third. Stay Foolish ends up with a good position against the rail. Then comes Miranak, who's in the white and red colours. Manobo about 4 lengths off the leader. Kept company by Elmadar. Baron Samedi next best. They followed further back by East Asia. Emperor of the Sun just went dead straight. And Emperor of the Sun, for all intents and purposes, out of the race. They followed further back then by Passion and Glory, 3/4 of the way back. Blue Jacket, White Cap, Aliniak, and then Rodrigo Diaz, who's at the end of the field, and they saunter onto the back straight. 1,800 metres left to run. Volcanic Sky is the leader by a little less than a length. Castle Bar's one horse that's ready to challenge. Veloce Oro races in between them in third. Then comes Stay Foolish in fourth, 3 lengths from the leader. Miranak is next best in a good rhythm, a length and a half away to Manobo, also in a good rhythm. Now the first 200 metres weren't memorable. Since then he's been going a dream. Then comes Elmadar against the inside. East Asia was next best, a few lengths away to Passion and Glory. Then comes Aliniak and Rodrigo Diaz, happy to race at the end of the field down the back straight. They went past the 1,200 metres mark. Volcanic Sky been in front from the start. A bit of hustling now going midfield, some of them getting quite urgent. Castle Bar's half a length away in second. Stay Foolish every chance at the rail in third. Veloce Oro is now worked into the open. They followed by Miranak at the outside. Baron Samedi, Manobo, all blue colours, still got about 4 to 5 lengths to trace down the side of the course. Aliniak's the Grey, that one's outside. He's in striking distance as well. 2 away to Passion and Glory. East Asia, Rodrigo Diaz has been at the end of the field the whole way around, and they're about to take the angle for home. Just over 600 metres left to run. Volcanic Sky then got shaken up towards the top of the straight and led them for home a length and a half. Veloce Oro second, Stay Foolish is third. Manobo in the clear, 3 lengths off the leader and gaining a lot of ground. Elmadar working into the open as well. Castle Bar beaten off. Then further back we found Passion and Glory. The leader is Volcanic Sky. Manobo now second. Stay Foolish matching him. Elmadar's fourth. Manobo getting to the lead. Manobo's got an unbeaten record in his side, but Stay Foolish lays it right down, comes back swinging, and Stay Foolish won. Stay Foolish toppled over Manobo. Third goes to Elmadar. What a run. Aliniak fourth. Then came Passion and Glory. They were ahead of Veloce Oro, Volcanic Sky, Rodrigo Diaz, and then came Castle Bar. A few lengths away to East Asia, Miranak. Then came Baron Samedi. As for Emperor of the Sun, he went about 800 metres and then continued to run straight up towards the hotel.
What a thriller that was. Stay Foolish really did dig deep to beat Manobo. The hot favourite down again. Another one for Japan, and I don't think they're done yet.
when he won in Saudi last time, he went wire to wire and he was the easiest of winners. This time he took back off the pace, he sat the trip, but the difference here is the difference in trips. Willem Buick had an awful trip. He could not get Manobo to settle early on. He tilted him to the outside and then he was stuck under cover. By the time he set him out, he had about 5 lengths to make up, but Stay Foolish is right here on the inside and he's 5 lengths clear of him. Manobo passes him, but Stay Foolish just had the perfect trip. Great ride from Christophe Lemaire, great battle down to the wire. Two really classy horses, and these horses hopefully will hook up again down the road later on this year.
Yeah, they were already talking about the Melbourne Cup possibly for Stay Foolish. They'll have a bit of a wait in that, you'd think, but he has won this for Yoshito Yahagi. What a night for him. Christophe Lemaire riding here for the first time since Almond Eye in 2019. One on the board for him early on. This horse, first time over the 3,200 metres, as we mentioned, went over the 3,000 last time. Not a problem at all. And he's the first ever winner in this race for Japan.
It's really just a remarkable performance from both horses. I mean, battling all the way to the line. And Stay Foolish, I think just maybe the experience edge, right? Stay Foolish making career start number 31, while Manobo just making start number 6.
Madar ran an absolutely huge race. He's finished third for Masar Brown Maheri. For a second or two, I thought he was going to win it, and then he just hung in a little bit, I think, as he came to the end of his stamina. The best of the Brits was a Lignac. They'll be thrilled with that, Jamie, and Safi Osborne with fourth.
Listen, to run fourth, beaten just maybe 2.5, 3 lengths behind Stay Foolish and Manobo, who might be two of the best horses in the world. I think you take that any day of the week.
And bearing in mind tonight is, we think, a not as strong as usual team for Saeed bin Saror. He's had third earlier on with Storm Damage, and he's finished 5th and 6th here with Passion and Glory and Volcanic Sky. So I wouldn't want to rule out any of his others later with too much authority.
Saeed knows when this day is. As soon as the calendar comes out, he circles this one in big red pen.
It was a thrilling race to watch, it really was. It doesn't, you wouldn't think after 2 miles it'd come to such a battle like this, but as you say, Manobo went past it, he had so much ground to make up. We all thought he was going to do it, he goes past, but he's never really had to battle like this. Every race he's won on the bridle prior to now.
He's never had a battle, he's never gone this far, and this was a big test for him. And this is a horse that, look, if you're the Charlie Appleby barn, you're not going to be happy. He was a huge favorite and the barn favorite, but at the end of the day, I think Manobo's going to come on spades from here. And I think at the end of the day, Manobo's the horse I want moving forward as what I think will be the best horse in the world when everything's said and done.
I imagine they'll target the Gold Cup at Ascot maybe with Manobo, whether it's over even further than this. Or maybe, as Charlie's mentioned a few times, they'll drop him back in trip. As he said earlier on, as you heard, he feels he's not really a dour stayer. Maybe they think he's seen a better effect back at 1.5 miles. It would be a nice problem for them to have. As you say, he's run really well, just hasn't had the kind run through the race that the winner had. Stay Foolish. I mean, he is a classy horse. He was 5th behind Glory Vase and Pile Driver and the like in the Hong Kong Vase in December, so that gives a bit of a boost for their form for later on.
Hard to believe that the Japanese might have more success the rest of the day, but I mean, this has just been the MO over the last year, kind of starting here. Loves Only You ran so well in the Shima last year, I think it was the Dubai Turf, but ran so well to run second behind Mischief, and then they just continued on form, and here they go, they're 2 for 2 in their 2 races.
Yeah, thank heavens they don't have Arabians. Might have won them all so far. They're probably going to struggle to win the Alquoz, I think. They've got Scheiden in there, and I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. He doesn't really have the best form. They do have Lauda Sion, though, who's a Group 1 winner.
It's one of these things where when things are just clicking in the barn, they're just clicking. And that group, that Japanese group is so tight. Most of them came directly from Saudi Arabia over here to Dubai. They've been together now for 6 weeks, and it really just is a family event. They start at the barn about 2 o'clock in the morning time, and by 3 o'clock, they're all out riding out the first set that for an hour. They're under tack, walking these horses around before they go out to the track. They love their horses, and it shows in the results here.
The Godolphin team and sadly Manobo right behind us, and crestfallen would be the word. They're not happy faces.
No,
Appleby camp. It must be tough when you think you've prepared. Obviously, anyone who gets beaten when they've got a hot favourite can be disappointed. But this was the one they were really counting on.
Well, I think when we take a look at the race back, when all is said and done, you're going to see just how much of a trouble trip William Buick had. It started from the very beginning of the race. Even though they're going a quarter in 26 and a half in 52, he could never get him settled and switched off. And in a 2-mile race, you need to save as much energy as you possibly can. And he just couldn't do that early on in the race, which has not really been a problem with Manobo in the past.
Yeah, first time he'd had a tough race. We said that before. First time he's had a battle. He's probably going to emerge from this a better horse, maybe, Manobo. But that won't be much consolation for Connections now. And it's gone to is much more experienced at Stay Foolish for that man, Christophe Lemaire. And it was interesting. I heard him interviewed a few times this week, and he said, yep, I had a great time in Saudi. It was wonderful to have those wins, but I put that behind me and I focus now on Dubai World Cup. And today has started out very nicely for him. Thank you very much. Will we see more Japanese success later on today? Bearing in mind they've got Shahryar. Chanel Meister was one of the warmest favourites on the card at around about 6-4, I think he is in that Dubai turf. So could just be a huge day for them. It's not often really outside of Godolphin that we see trainers with doubles on this card. I suppose John Gosden managed it last year with Mishrif and Lord North, but it's a tough thing to achieve, isn't it?
No, these are the best horses in the world, and they bring their best efforts, and normally trainers won't have those kind of top-notch contenders in every one of these divisions, but the Japanese have come well-stocked. And look, Todd Pletcher's got chances later on. Doug O'Neill has 3 chances later on, so there could be another double on the card as we go on.
Fairly confident the Japanese won't win the World Cup itself.
I don't know anymore.
But who knows? We can get a debrief now from our winner, because Christophe Lemaire is with Mikey.
Christophe Lemaire has once again won one of the big races on the world stage as he weighs out here. Christophe, if you can, take us through it. It looks like, you know, this horse had a dream trip out there.
Yes, definitely. Lucky to be on the inside. Very relaxed. Was slow pace early on, but then we quickened from last turn. My horse was responded very well. As I said before, he doesn't have a big turn of foot, but he's got stamina, and today he had to fight very well. He had to fight, and he did it very well.
Before Saudi, he hadn't. One second. Before Saudi, he hadn't won in about 3 years. Now he wins 2 big races in a row. What do you think is the difference?
Yeah, but I think the trip. Now he can run on longer trip. He get tough, and to be honest, when he came to Middle East last time, the horse get really stronger, and
he likes it here.
he likes the heat, and more than me. But yeah, over distance, I think he's going to become one of the best in the world.
Well, let's hope so. Hopefully we'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christophe Lemaire, such a nice guy. I remember thinking many years ago, this is the best jockey in France. And then he went over to Japan, which is an attractive thing to do because there's so much money. But they don't make it easy for you. I think they give you a translator for a bit, and then you have to learn Japanese and pass the test in order to stay there and become part of their jockey colony.
And his Japanese is fantastic. I mean, the Japanese media absolutely adore him. They flock to him anytime he comes out for morning track work. And I remember seeing him breeze Amanai a few days before she ran. And I mean, just gives you goosebumps when he's aboard them. They were in unison. And that's what won the race here for Stay Foolish, is just being in unison to the wire and having enough horse left, knowing that you got to go 3,200 meters. And that was the key here, to hold off Manobo, because I think the whole crowd thought when Manobo got clear and he kind of ranged up and took the lead for half a second, that Manobo was gone, but Stay Foolish had something left in reserve.
So far, this Saudi form is working out extremely well. The winner of the Kahila, of course, was the winner in Saudi, and this horse as well. So take us through the race from Manobo's perspective.
So you see here, I mean, Manobo's just getting absolutely jostled between. He can't settle, and Buick's just trying to get him undercover, He can't do it. He's trying to save a little bit of ground with the 3,200 meters we have in front of us. You see him kind of trying to get over to the inside, but the horse just won't relax. And finally, at some point in the race, he's just going to get him outside, and he's going to go 3 wide, even though he's got nowhere to go, just because it gives him the opportunity to just shut off a little bit, because he just would not settle early on. And look, Charlie Appleby might be the best trainer in the world. This is the first time we've seen it from him. I got a feeling it'll be the last time we see it from him. He'll get this corrected.
This is a concern later for Yabir, though. A horse that we know could over-race. He did it in the Breeders' Cup turf, and he's coming here off a layoff. This horse had the prep, which should have taken the fizziness out of him.
Yeah, no, Yabir, Charlie's kind of funny when you ask him about him. He says, I don't know what he's going to do in the race. If he's too fresh, he might be gone, and William Buick's going to be tired after this ride. But look, he's a consummate pro, and you got to kind of have short memory and move on to the next one. And the next one is going to be a fun one, hopefully, for William Buick, although an agonizing decision it was.
Well, it won't be so fun if James Law sails past him on creative force. Although they are great mates, which will definitely help. I quite like our helicopter, but I'm not sure that it necessarily shows us quite what's happening, sort of, you know, in terms of...
You see Sophie out the back here. She's still second to last, and she's going to end up passing a bunch to run fourth, though. That's, you know, just a never give up attitude. You're riding for your family, and they have to be proud with the fourth place finish.
Yeah, Safi Osborne. It was fantastic. At one point, I was like, "Come on, Safi, you're going to get there." Around about now, she's coming with a little bit of a run, and
here again, still Noble's just crying out for room. He's completely boxed in with nowhere to go. If he's able to tilt out and get out any bit earlier in the race, I think he can win. But he just has nowhere to go. And finally, when the hole opens up, William's going to let him go, and he does kind of just smash on through it. But it took so long, and that's so much energy that you have to use. Turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, and eventually it's just going to get him on the wire.
This is where the crowd really responded when the horse came out, started really eating up the ground with his giant strides. But Stay Foolish was never going to give in. He's a dour stayer. And he gets in front, as you said, and we thought that'll be it, but nope, the Japanese horse was not going to lie down.
He still looks like a winner, though, doesn't he? Just here at the end, just the last two jumps, the Stay Foolish just really showed a lot of heart today in pulling up the upset victory.
Yeah, he's a really likable horse, Stay Foolish. He's not a youngster either. He's 7 years old, still an entire, raced by, of course, Shaddai Racehorse Co, and they are so good at what they do. Many different ownership groups under their umbrella. And he's a son of Stay Gold. He's having his 31st start this evening, Stay Foolish, and this is just his fourth win.
And this is a horse that's owned by Mr. Yoshida, Teruga Yoshida of Shaddai Farm, who obviously now stands behind your biscuits, as well as so many other top stallions. And with the loss of Deep Impact, they're looking for that replacement. Stay Foolish, I'm sure, will join that yard next year now as another stallion at the Shaddai Stallion Station.
They got something like 35 stallions, haven't they?
Yeah, it's an amazing facility, and they just take such unbelievable care of their horses over there. It's a pleasure to go over there.
I'm not sure how much demand there is for 2 mile Group 2 winners in Japan. They do have jump racing. Nakayama Grand Jump would be the only one I can name. So I guess he'd be a jump sire.
I think the thing about Japan, why they run so well over here too, is this long walk from the international quarantine barn that some horses have a problem with. It's old hat for the Japanese. They're used to just walking miles and miles and miles, and we see them in the morning time. They're always the first ones on the track at that 5 o'clock slot, and they don't seem to ever turn over a hair, other than maybe Lani.
Yeah, Lani was good fun, winner of the UAE Derby a few years ago. In fact, Japan's only winner of the UAE Derby. Maybe that will change as well this evening. They have won 2 of the 3 races we've had so far at Dubai World Cup 2022. But our Alcor Sprint is a different proposition altogether, and that is the race that's coming up next at 5:35, so around about 20 minutes to go. Look at Almada, he's such a tricky horse, but he is so talented in the yellow sleeves there. And he has run a mighty race. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him next season regarding the campaigning, because there aren't too many races here for the staying types. And there aren't even really any turf races until January, so fun times though for Masaba, unless indeed they choose to be very brave and campaign overseas, which is something UAE trainers don't often do. But a pat down the neck for Stay Foolish, winner of our Dubai Gold Cup, for Christophe Lemaire. It's cooled down quite a lot, hasn't it? And the crowd seem to have kind of come closer to us, more up to the fence, or maybe it's just that they've taken their time to arrive and get in. It feels a lot busier now than it did before the Kahela. Perhaps they were just hiding in the shade.
I think it's just one of those things, and we see it year in and year out here on World Cup night. The masses just continue to pour in. Even though the Kahela is such a great race, and every race on the card is such a great race, this place will be jam-packed by the time Dubai World Cup goes off tonight.
So our trophy presentation for the Dubai Gold Cup, sponsored by Altair Motors, and this is Mr. Humaid Tariq Altair himself presenting the prize to the owners of Stay Foolish Shadai Racehorse Co Limited. And Yoshito Yahagi, the trainer, came into tonight just 1 win from 8 runners here in Dubai. Now improved that to 3 from 10. That is pretty good going. He's a real character, as we mentioned. Very, very popular over there.
It looked like that might have been Mr. Yoshida here too as well.
I believe he was planning a trip over.
He always brings a camera with him. So he's standing taking the picture of the trophy there in the winner's picture, if that's him. I'm 99% sure that was Mr. Yoshida.
He won a Lifetime Achievement Award, rather the Yoshida family won a Lifetime Achievement Award. Recent His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Racing Awards that we had here on Super Saturday. And they sadly weren't able to attend on that occasion, but they did say we'll be here for the Dubai World Cup, probably because they knew they were going to have a winner or two. Christophe Lemaire, his 7th win in Dubai from 107 rides.
Yeah, there he is.
And of course, they are such a powerful family. And in addition to the Shadai Stallion Station that we mentioned, they've got all these different kind of syndicates, isn't it, that they have over there, and it's a fabulous way of running racing.
And the Japanese absolutely love their racing. They sleep outside for 3 days before the Japan Cup. They're going to start traveling here, and forces the fans as well. I think aside from all the connections and the media that comes, it seems like more and more every year are making these trips.
So full rundown, first 8th in our Dubai Gold Cup. Good performance indeed from Ahmad Haran and Lignac, Saibin Soror Pair, Passion and Glory, Volcanic Sky, the popular, Veloce, Ore and Castle Bar. Real improve this year for Halal Al-Alawi, finishing 8th for our locals, so good performance from that horse as well. But a lot of people who may be having a bit of a wager on this card from overseas will have been relying on Manobo to get the job done, and he didn't quite manage to do so. Here are the highlights of our Dubai Gold Cup. Actually